Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ontario Cryptids. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Christmas is right around the corner. It is 3 days away to be exact. I hope you all have done your Christmas shopping. I still have a couple things I need to pick up, but I'll get it done soon. Anyways, I'm going to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. If you're enjoying the content, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It helps to support the channel, and you'll stay up to date with all my latest videos. Join a community of like-minded individuals and be the first to know when new content drops. If you have an encounter story that you would like to share, then please forward your stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. I would be honored to share your story with like-minded people. Now sit back and relax as we begin with today's episode. For this first one, it takes place in 2022. We're going to Humboldt County, California, and the nearest city is McKinleyville. In July of 2022, my girlfriend and I were looking for a trail to hike in the McKinleyville area. A lot of parks were closed due to their popularity in July. We looked at Google Maps around 12 p.m. in the afternoon to see what was in the area. Not too far from the Redwood National Forest was a public access trail off the side of the highway. A 15-mile hike to a beach with no road access. My girlfriend and I thought that it would be a fun thing to do. Even if we don't make it to our destination, it would make for a fun day. To get to the story, we are about an hour into the forest and we hear a scream and all the birds go quiet. I don't think about it, but I hear it again, and I asked my lady if she heard it too, and we decided to leave, and we made it out with no problem. The scream sounded like a woman screaming, but altered by a deep voice emulator, but natural. The weirdest thing about this is I felt almost something primal in me telling me to leave or run. The most hilarious part of this story was an old man walking close to the trail's entrance, and I told him that we heard an animal screaming in the woods. He smiles and says, "Sounds hungry." When we get to our truck, his car had a Bigfoot sticker on it, which made my day. Let me know if I'm delusional or if there is some Bigfoot lore. Thanks. This next one takes place on January the 10th of 2001. We're going to Merrimack County, New Hampshire, and the nearest town is Loudon. Well, it was a few weeks ago in Loudon, New Hampshire. Me and my wife had just settled into a house next to a farm. It was nighttime, no real overcast or anything. From inside the house, we heard what we thought was barking constantly. We owned several dogs, so we were used to it. This continued for about an hour or two, then it quieted down. Later on that evening, about 2 a.m. or so, we heard the most blood-curdling sound ever. The only way I can describe it is it was about 20 dogs all screaming and volping at once in a shrill, chorused scream. We haven't heard it again, but it came from across the farmer's field in the woods across from the speedway. I'd have to say the date was around January 10th or so. We have heard other things too, and seen plenty of deer, but never heading across the field. We don't know what it was and did not see it at all. We have seen shadows move down the dirt road we live in, but figured it was just someone walking up the road. Maybe we're just paranoid, but I lived in the woods here a long time and never heard anything like that before. This next one takes place August 5th of 2022. We're heading to Skamania County, Washington, and the nearest town is Trout Lake. I was sleeping in my tent and woke up abruptly for seemingly no reason. I woke up to an unexplained adrenaline rush. Laying there, I began to hear sounds coming from probably no more than 50 to 100 feet behind our tent. 5 or so sounds like grunting, whoops, although I'm not sure how to exactly describe the noise. It was like nothing I have ever heard before. This was not a human or regular animal noise. They were not screams. They were loud, but somewhat low pitch, if that makes sense. There seemed to be 2 of these beings making sounds at each other, not just one. After the grunts, whoops, came several loud wood knocks. It was either wood on wood or a very heavy fist on wood. It sounded like one of the beings knocked a few times and another one responded with more knocks down the way. I knew what I was hearing was unexplainable and I was terrified. I laid awake for about another hour of silence and I was able to fall back asleep. This next one takes place in the summer of 2005. We're heading to Alberta Rockies, Alberta, and the nearest town is Canmore. My wife and I and our oldest son are occasional birders up and around Red Deer, Alberta. My son and I worked 20 years together in the petrochemical business. We are known here in this province, thus it is my preference to be anonymous, if you please. Otherwise, do not publish this message. We have a place in the Waskesiu area near the Red Deer River. My other sons work in construction over in Sylvan Lake area. The summer of 2005, the wife packed us up a lunch and the field glasses and sent us off to a place near Kicking Horse Pass, not far from Lake Louise and Highway 1 and 93. There is a fork there to go either direction. We usually picnic there. But this day had distractions. I became sidetracked when we stopped in Canmore along the Bow River. I pulled off to the side area there just a holler from the bridge and was scanning the bush across the water there looking for mainly ruby-crowned kinglets, orange-crowned warblers, or those dark-eyed juncos. It was then my field glass fell upon a dark figure there. A weird feeling overcame me, like I was intruding on someone's private rendezvous, but I held the glasses on it trying to make a better identification and at the same time yelled to my son to grab his camera. He didn't hear me. I yelled again, and as I did, this time the dark figure moved in my field of vision, a bit to its right. I think it must have turned around and looked in my direction. Half of the dark figure was against a tree and the rest of the figure was outlined by willows of a lighter color than the figure itself. At the same time, I took note of the dead tree, which was approximately a bit shorter than the figure in my glasses. It seemed to me in those fleeting seconds that the dark figure was looking at us, or at least in our direction, and I was looking at it. It was or appeared to be a very large dark-colored man-shaped figure, but all black, no line markings for clothing. No clear delineation of features, just a tall dark figure standing there in the trees with arms I presumed to be at its side. I forgot all about the ruby crown and yelled again to my son, who was by now making his way over to my canvas tool. I pointed and handed him my field glasses, but he saw nothing and I could not relocate the dark figure again. My son suggested that we had disturbed another birder. We walked in the direction of the figure, calling out to him, but got no answer. We got to the tree I had taken notice of in the field glasses, and that dead tree that was shorter in my vision compared to the dark figure was exactly 9 feet up. It was then that I told my son the situation, and we stood looking at one another, completely puzzled at what would have been over 9 feet tall. He thought I had been wrong in what I saw. I was not. I know that the tree was shorter than the dark figure. I'm not sure what this was, but it may have been a Sasquatch. For sure, it was not a bear. This was different. It wasn't people. It made no sounds I could hear over the river's noise. I have no other better description than it was a large, dark figure on the other side looking back at us, just standing there. Then it was gone. There was no other cars parked or on the road when this happened, and we noticed nothing else of any significance, like smell or tracks. There was nothing. Birders that we are, we went about our day, but that image stayed in my head. Most unusual thing I've ever seen that I couldn't explain, and I only saw it for a short time. Yet, I have convinced myself enough to post this to several websites, although it may be insignificant to you. Well, that's going to end things off for today. I hope you guys enjoyed these encounter stories today. And I have to apologize for the shorter video today, but I do have a bit of chores to do. I will send you guys a Christmas shorts on Christmas Day, but Merry Christmas, everyone, and I hope you enjoy your time with your families. Okay, let's acknowledge the current OC members. I would like to thank Elizabeth, Jim, Diana, and Teresa for the contribution and support as members of the OC community. Your support is truly appreciated. If you wish to learn more about the OC membership program, you can check out the membership video to get a detailed description of all the perks you will receive. Don't miss out on the adventure and become a member and join us today. If these encounter stories reminded you of one you may have had, then please forward your encounters to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. I would be honored to share your story with our OC community. Thank you all for listening until the end. I truly appreciate it. Please hit the like button on your way out and smash the subscribe button if you're new to my channel. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you all next week right here on Ontario Cryptids.